big ideas. Now here is where the rubber meets the road. 7 big ideas, and these are incredibly important, but they're nice in the sense it's all laid out for us. When this whole big world of computer science, this is all I need to focus on, right? And each one has been broken into essential questions, enduring understandings, learning objectives, essential knowledge. So first, let's just skim through and see all the 7 big ideas and then come back and look at each one. So big idea 1, creativity. Big idea 2, abstraction. Big idea 3, data and information. Big idea 4, algorithms. Big idea 5, programming. Big idea 6, internet. And big idea 7, impact. Creativity. Thoughts on creativity. What do you guys think? If you've been able to skim through it, your thoughts. What do you think? What did you feel about it? I mean, it is a touchy-feely big idea, unlike internet and programming and algorithms, right? So, what did you think?
That's a fun one. I think if you're a teacher that doesn't mind a little bit of, I guess chaos is the word I would use, but I don't think that's the right word. But if you don't mind a little bit of, if you're willing to take your hands off the wheel and let the kids maybe drive how they solve the problem you provide them, that one intrigues me, honestly. I'm nervous about it because I'm a control freak.
As a math teacher, I'm like, okay, here's your rubric, and you stay right
And you
in
stick
here.
right
Yeah. And so I'm like,
then-
step back and say, okay, go ahead. So
But-
Beautiful.
I'm the same way.
Beautiful.
But I'll say this, I've been coaching little kids for the last couple of years, 6, 7, 8-year-olds on the basics of soccer. And when you give them an environment to play in, and you just provide them some structure, and let them within that environment figure some things out, it's really neat what they will do. And I think even high school kids, as jaded and as uncool as it would be to actually go in and do it yourselves, I think they'd be willing to give it a shot if you could somehow trick them into doing it.
That's right.
That's what I think is cool though, because if you make it in a safe place, I mean, I'm like, what happens in this room stays in this room, you know, and I'm right there with them, you know, they'll be like, never supposed to do this. I think it's, you know, if you can get to that place where you can let go of it and let it be okay, you know.
They're so afraid to make mistakes.
I
They're
know.
so afraid if they get the wrong answer.
We had a student tell us that they're used to being told what to do, when to do it. And when they came to us in robotics, it was difficult for them to kind of get going. They didn't know where to go. We didn't tell them where to go a lot
Beautiful.
of times.
That's the hardest thing in teaching computer science, because nowadays we program them step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, and you throw them in there and say there are no steps, there are tools, let's see what you can do with it.
Right.
That drives them nuts.
I was just making a note to myself on that very concept. For some way, there are, I know in career tech, there's a middle school course, I can't think of the name of it right now, that is a computer foundations course. It's what's a disk drive, what's a hard drive, that sort of thing. At some point, we have to prepare these kids, give them some idea of what we want them to do when they get into high school.
Right.
And I'm afraid that, particularly right now, a lot of the kids that I'm gonna get are this brand new concept. It's like, what? And they need to be exposed to this at an earlier level so that when we lay it on them, they're not going crazy on things.
Absolutely. Point very well taken. Scotty, I'm going to encourage you to do something. You said a word that resonates very much with me. Safe place. Would you please sometime in this absolutely empty, lazy summer that you have ahead of you, take a few minutes and put safe place and make a comment on Piazza, please? Because and maybe even get a discussion within this group, because I think that is the key to creativity.
They're
One of-
afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Right.
They are terrified.
So you
of failing.
see, and that's what I'm hoping. This conversation is to be a larger conversation
Yeah.
among 25 or
That's where I
26,
think it's
20, 35 of us.
One of the things I think is really important when we're talking to our kids, you know, is to relate our own personal experience.
Right.
And we kind of, I tell the kids, you know, I said, you know, you've got problems in your life and all this kind of stuff, and your world is different from ours. But however, we have gone through those problems. It's been packaged a little differently.
Right.
But
Right.
we've gone through the same kinds of things that you've gone through. Your parents have as well, so I encourage them to talk to their parents. But what I talk to them about is failing is the word, you know, the fear of failure is the one that holds you back more than anything else.
Right.
A person who fears to fail will not do anything.
Right.
And I was that way myself. I was afraid to step out and try new things or take on responsibilities because I didn't want to do anything wrong. And I said it stymied me a lot. You
Right.
know, and it held me back until one day I realized, you know, and I heard there was some kind of celebrity or something who said this, you know, but it says a person who has never failed at anything, has never tried anything new. And I said, and that's what life is all about.
Right.
Life is not a smooth road with rose petals and all. And it's like Randy Pausch had said in his last lecture, life is full of brick walls in front of you, and they're not there to keep you out, they're there to prove how badly you want something.
Right. Absolutely.
And so, you know, when we approach, you know, I lecture on failure. I lecture on, you know, moving ahead to try to get the kids to understand it's okay if you don't do it right.
Right.
But everything is to keep trying. What is it? You don't fail until you quit.
Right. And taking that, because Roy said that, it made me think. Same thing applies for you, right? Remember, Leona said, I appreciated that honest comment so much. If you are comfortable, you're not pushing it hard enough. You're not pushing yourself hard enough. You're
That's
not
right.
expected to feel comfortable. I'm going to tell you honestly, I'm still not comfortable. And somebody asked in that lovely thing that Jeff did for us, my challenge. So I'm moving schools, and I'm going to all Mac school, guys. I can barely work on that recycle bin. I don't even know what that trash thing is. From now, by August, I'm supposed to figure that thing called Mac OS. And I'm supposed to teach on that. Teach CS principles on that. It's honestly out of my comfort zone. I'm terribly, terribly scared. But that's what we are as professionals. And I'm okay to let the girls know that I'm figuring it out. So you know, it's okay to be out of your comfort zone. That slight butterfly in your stomach is a good thing. If it's not there, that's a problem.
I always do an analogy if they have younger siblings, you know, like look around, how many of y'all can walk? You know, and no one got up and started walking immediately.
Right.
You know, if you have a younger sibling, they start walking, you're like, okay, you can do it. You don't say, get back down, or, you know, so I kind of use that analogy.
Right,
because-
absolutely. So take your time. Take your time, baby steps, and you'll succeed. So let us look at essential questions. These we will go over greater detail tomorrow. Tomorrow, Jill, Jeff Baker, and Dr. Gray will be giving you the syllabus and the pacing guide. And the essential questions are in the syllabus. Take these and try to really just understand them as to these are what I need to convey to the kids. Honestly, you don't need the answers to them. Let them figure it out, especially when it comes to creativity, right? So enduring understandings, those are the ones that we want them to get. Like creative development can be an essential process for creating computational artifacts. Understanding what a computational artifact is, right? What is the difference between a digital artifact and a computational artifact? Is PowerPoint a computational artifact? Is Snap a computational artifact? Is the pivot table that Roy showed a computational artifact?
Yes, the pivot table.
So those are thoughts, right? I mean, those are things to think about, and we talk further. So what is computation thinking then? Something that you can make some math on? Is that what it is? Is that it solves a problem? Right?
Uses a computer to simplify a problem.
Uses a computer to simplify a problem. That's a very nice definition, right?